Tonight on Bayou Time, we'll open up the phone lines for the first hour of Bayou Time, 879-1231. Also, Jason Dagate has today's top stories from around the area. That's all next on Bayou Time.
Deep in the heart of the bayou, we are gathered here tonight. Now it's time for action, 'cause our lives are on the line. Tonight we'll do our very best to break through all the bureaucratic mess. The time has come tonight, 'cause it's Bayou time. Show 'em what Louisiana's all about.
This Bayou Time is hosted by local attorney Jason Dagate.
Hello once again and welcome to this Tuesday night edition of Bayou Time. I'm Jason Dagate. Phone lines are open for the first hour of Bayou Time if you're watching us live. Of course, we're taping live on Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. The phone lines will be open, 879-1231. As you can see behind me, Social Security, no guarantee. Today, President Barack Obama making the announcement that if something is not worked out between Republicans and Democrats on working out some sort of package to reduce the deficit, if you will, by August the 2nd, there's no guarantee that Social Security checks will come out on August 3rd. Does that cause you some concern? Do you think it's political banter? Do you think it's just moving another chess piece along the board, if you will, to play politics so one side can get its way? Or do you think it's a legitimate fear that retirees and people relying on that income may not receive some of that money on August the 3rd if something is not done? As many economists are saying that we could be facing some economic catastrophe in the nation if something is not worked out by August the 2nd. So we'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on that as well. Any other topic you would like to discuss? Obviously, we've been talking about the death penalty with the Casey Anthony trial of some late. If you still want to chime in on whether you're for or against death penalty cases, feel free to do so, 879-1231. What we'll do now before we go to the phone lines, we'll go to the top stories from around the area. There was a big meeting at the home of Terrebonne Library today, and Jason Dagate has these top stories.
Several shrimpers packed at the North Terrebonne Library to express their concerns about proposed increased requirements for turtle-excluded devices in shrimpers' nets.
Gulf fleets are down 74% from 2003. We just can't give up no more. You know, we're being falsely accused, and we cannot afford to give any more. We're doing our best. We're doing the best that we can do, and it really is shown by numbers coming into the BPR disaster, and we you know, we're not guilty. Not guilty.
Over the next few days, NOAA will be holding scoping meetings across the Gulf Coast for input.
Turtle strainings are a problem, but I don't think it's a shrimper's problem. And I think that what we need to do is get to the bottom of what the real problem is and allow the shrimpers to understand that we have to be a part of the process and not separate from the process, and make our voices heard and let people understand that, hey, there are other options other than just shutting down the shrimp industry in the Gulf. Let's look at other alternatives like turtle stock assessments, maybe try to delist some of the turtle if they're not endangered any longer. And I think really we have to develop an educational component at our level to show National Marine Fisheries Service and know that we're serious about our business and that we understand what a TED is and how to measure a TED and what to do.
Terrebonne Parish is the largest shrimp area in the United States, but yet they held a meeting at noon, which was somewhat upsetting. We weren't able to get the majority of our people out there, but we did cover the issues. We did start a task force with our congressional delegation, our shrimp organizations, Clint Guidry, and also the American Shrimp Processors Association, joining together to make sure we're going to fight this situation on trying to put turtle excluded devices on our skimmers. It's unrealistic. The science is not what it's supposed to be, and we're going to challenge it at all levels. And I'm hopeful that in the near future we're going to be very successful in making sure we're protecting our shrimp industry.
In news from Lafourche, 4 Hispanic males awaiting trial for a 2010 murder and kidnapping of a South Lafourche woman will not face the death penalty, according to the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. District Attorney Cam Morval will now try the 4 defendants on charges of second-degree murder and kidnapping charges. A trial has not been scheduled, but on this Wednesday in Judge Walt Lanier's courtroom, a hearing is scheduled. In police news, an argument turns violent Monday after a gunman fires a gun at a fleeing car. Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's deputies arrested Prentice Livas Monday night after they say he fired upon a car that was leaving Porsche Lane. Livas was booked with 5 counts of aggravated assault with a weapon, aggravated criminal damage to property, and illegal discharge of a firearm. He was booked into the Terrebonne Parish Jail on a $150,000 bond. In more news from Terrebonne, Monday night, residents speak out about a sneaky problem that has built up in the Summerfield area from a large sewage basin that is starting to fill up with sediments.
The frequency and potency of the horrible smell we've experienced emanating from this pond has been steadily increasing for some time. I think Terrebonne Parish Pollution Control can confirm that they're receiving complaints from a broader geographical area than ever before. The putrid odor is so unbearable at times that residents have been unable to sleep in their own homes. There have been reports of friends and family members refusing to visit the residents. Children have woken up nauseated. People have had frequent headaches, and there's been reports of other more serious and inexplicable illnesses.
Parish officials say they are working on a solution, and on Wednesday's full council meeting they will be asking for a budget amendment for dredging of the basin. Also on Wednesday, a contractor will be adding special bacteria to the system to hopefully remove some of the built-up sediments.
On Wednesday, we were going to introduce a bacteria, often called superbugs, into the system. Superbugs should have some effect within 48 to 72 hours. What those bugs or that bacteria does, it eats the sludge and should reduce the odor. Also on Wednesday, we're going to ask the council to approve a budget amendment for $350,000 in order to dredge the pond. It's our milestone to receive bids in September, award the contract in September, and complete the complete dredging of the pond by December, if not earlier.
So there you have it. That's a number of local issues in the area. If you'd like to talk about it, 879-1231 from the turtle excluder devices on the TEDs. If you want to talk about that issue, feel free to do so as well. You heard from State Representative Joe Harrison, who's trying to protect the interest of several shrimpers. Basically saying that it's not necessary for the skimmers to have these devices on it, and it's hurting the shrimpers. So if you share that same viewpoint, or if you disagree, 879-1231. Also, other issues you saw in the news package as well. We open that up for topic as always. And on the national scale, and which may affect some of you and our residents in our area, if you collect Social Security today, President Barack Obama said there may not be, or actually there is no guarantee that those checks will go out on August the 3rd if a deal or if an agreement or a policy is not reached by August the 2nd to try to help reduce the federal budget and the deficit. Of course, by law, they can only raise the debt ceiling up to $14 trillion, and it looks like they've capped out, and they need to find some other money and some things of that sort. So if you're in fear that you won't get your check, give us a call. Let's hear why and what's your solution. What can Congress do? 879-1231. We'll take a short break. I see a number of you on the line now. I ask you to hold patiently, please, through the break, and when we come back from the break, I'll take your phone call.